There is honestly nothing I love more than witnessing the downfall of disgusting, terrible people in real time. We're witnessing just that on full display amidst the current Denims situation regarding a GoFundMe page and potential lawsuit she's been formulating against Ethan Klein of H3H3. If y'all have seen some of my past videos, first of all, you're goated and should put a baby in me ASAP. I seriously appreciate the love, but yeah, if you've seen them, you know I'm not exactly a huge Denim fan. You know, I'm not currently subscribed with notifications on, nor will I ever be, and I'm actually on the payroll for her biggest haters, and so when I saw that her hopes of any sort of lawsuit have evaporated, y'all already knew I had to make a video on it. So yeah, let's get right into the situation. I'm sure it'll be oh so educational, as always. So it all started when Denims took to Twitter earlier today to announce that unfortunately the long-awaited Denims x Ethan Klein anime crossover is no longer happening, as she is now shutting down the GoFundMe. Over there on Twitter, she said, 1 week, 1,692 donations, and $46,000 later, I'm refunding the GoFundMe. If/when I go forward as a plaintiff, I will be self-funded. Thank you everyone for proving Ethan wrong. His behavior is unacceptable and people do care. Proceeding with a defamation suit against Ethan is a monumental undertaking. His suit with Kavanaugh started almost 4 years ago and is still ongoing. I don't want to fundraise to start a fight that I can't finish and feel like I've let those down who have donated. With that in mind, if this is a journey I wish to undertake, I'll be doing it with my own funds. I'll be keeping all of you posted if anything happens while the statute of limitation runs for the next year, and I'll be elaborating on stream Friday. I appreciate all of you for your support. It means more than you know. It is truly a sad, sad day for the terminally unemployed, as it would seem that Osama bin Laden reborn, aka Ethan Klein, will in fact not be brought to court by this woman. And can I just say that I'm so sorry, guys. Give me a minute. I need to get some tissues prepped. But yeah, man, this tweet is so funny because this comes only a week after she was talking real spicy. But oh, how the turntables, because you see, she mentions how this lawsuit would be such a, quote, monumental undertaking. But you see, over there on her stream, there was a much different discussion taking place and a much different picture being painted. You know, she was just so adamant that her lawyer knows so much and that Ethan clearly lied and therefore she just win this suit with ease, you know, a real landslide, right? She was so confident, in fact, that she created a whole goddamn website called EthanKleinLied.com, which would then, like, I guess, siphon you over to this GoFundMe, which we'll talk about that whole GoFundMe situation in just a second. But now it's just simply not happening, right? Like, this has got to be embarrassing, man. I mean, how embarrassing to go about all of this, right, just to end up dropping out. You know, this is just a terrible look, and I feel like her already ridiculous argument loses even more credibility. Because, I mean, the whole reason why she even wanted to take him to court in the first place is because he simply stated that she was perpetuating this narrative that CPS should be called. You know, we've talked about it in past videos, but essentially she got up there on live stream. You know, she invited this guy, Empanada or something, to talk about how these kids were eating dog shit off the floor and got giardia, right? And she's just entertaining the idea the whole time. And that's really what this all stems from. Essentially just an internet beef, right? And now fast forward here, she's got this website, this GoFundMe. She's thinking about suing this guy. And then now she drops out. Like, I feel like you just sort of lose all credibility towards an argument that was already pretty feeble to begin with. But we're not done here, because she actually responded yet again over on Twitter, and over there she kind of goes into more insight in why she's dropping out. She addresses the whole GoFundMe situation. But she said, quote, why issue a retraction letter and crowdfund if you weren't serious about your legal threat? Yeah, great question, by the way. I was and am. If CCS 48A applies, you must issue a retraction letter within 20 days of the defamatory statement before you can pursue a lawsuit. This is why Ethan was so prompt in his letter to Noah, but has yet to file a suit, if he ever actually planned on doing so. I changed my mind about crowdfunding because I realized that I didn't like the money grubbing narrative. Normally, this wouldn't be an issue because I could just be transparent with how the money was spent, but over the length of time that a lawsuit would span, it isn't realistic, and quote, just doing my best isn't enough for an offensive lawsuit. Alright man, so we gotta talk about this. So first and foremost, listen, I'm no gynecologist, and I'm sure as fuck ain't no lawyer, but this whole thing just seems so poorly thought out. I mean, why would she issue a retraction letter and crowdfund this GoFundMe at the same time? If her intentions were to send this retraction letter and then get him to, obviously denounce what he was saying and then avoid litigation, right? She really wanted to avoid litigation this whole time. I mean, isn't that the whole point of a retraction letter? I mean, I don't know. This whole thing just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And also, wouldn't you think that she'd wait for Ethan's response before starting a GoFundMe? Make sure she really wants to do this, make sure it's really something that she plans on sticking out. And before any of y'all come at my throat and say, oh, she had to, by law, issue the retraction letter. Yeah, I get that. But let's be real. She wanted to avoid litigation because if she didn't, why would she drop out before that 20-day window? And let's be real with ourselves for a second. Did she really think she'd even be able to win such a lawsuit like this? I mean, why the fuck is she even out here mentioning a potential lawsuit in the first place if she's got to rely on scamming her audience and practically begging them to fund the whole thing? Like, this shit is just so goddamn embarrassing, man. I'm just really getting that awkward feeling of secondhand embarrassment right now. Like, give it a rest. It's so annoying how she essentially realizes now, oh, oops, I fucked up. And instead of just being honest and taking some sort of accountability and seeking an overall resolution with her fans, she continues to try to paint this false narrative that she's just the better person, guys, right? Denims? She's too good of a person to take her fans' money, even though she's already demonstrated she'd do just that in a heartbeat if it meant getting what she wanted, while at the same time playing the victim. Like, this whole situation is just absolutely insane. Instead of acknowledging her lack of judgment, she makes excuses and, like I said, plays the victim card like, oh, woe is me, guys, I couldn't win even if I tried my best. Google refers to this as ad hoc reasoning. Ad hoc reasoning refers to making up dismissive excuses rather than truly engaging an idea. You get what I'm saying though, right? Instead of taking any sort of accountability or saying, oh, maybe I should have thought this more through, she's talking about how she couldn't win even with her best efforts and makes the excuse that, oh, lawsuits are just so long anyways, right? Like, newsflash, dumbass, all lawsuits take a long time. Like, did she expect this to just be one and done within a single afternoon? Like, I'm genuinely so confused, and I feel like this just greatly exemplifies just how little she actually knows about what she's talking about. And equally as funny is how this all comes from a silly internet beef, right? Essentially, all that happened was Ethan Klein said that Denims was responsible for, or at the very least, played a role in the calling of CPS. Like, it's just a silly little internet beef, right? I don't think something like this is really that deep. I don't think this warrants a lawsuit to begin with. Like, if Ethan Klein came out and said that, Denims was bumping that new Kanye and genuinely believed everything that he's talking about, or that she was a kid diddler or something, then I would understand, a defamation lawsuit. But, this is just a silly internet beef, and under no circumstances should something like this ever even leave the internet to begin with. But just one more thing I want to talk about before I close out the video is it's just so crazy how over on her stream she was just talking way different, right? Ethan Klein is this prolific liar and he's disgusting and he uses his money and power to manipulate the situation, and we have a chance to win this lawsuit because he lied, right? He's just this big fat fucking liar, right? But then she drops out a mere 7 days after talking about a potential lawsuit. Like, she didn't even wait for that 20-day window to close where he could potentially fill out this retraction letter. She just threw in the fucking towel, right? The whole thing is so insane. Like, if she's so adamant in sticking to her original statement, she's going to sit here and double down. And not only that, but she has this great support system behind her. I mean, let's not forget that she is friends with Hassan and those folks. Like, if she's got all of that going for her and she genuinely believes that Ethan Klein is defaming her, Don't you think something like this would be worth a shot? I don't know. And I do want to bring up one more thing too before I forget. You know, she's got this $46,000 from the GoFundMe. Why doesn't she like change the GoFundMe and like, I don't know, donate the money to, I don't know, poor Palestinian children that are in need that she claims to care about so fucking much? Like, I don't know. This person is just truly terrible, and honestly I pray on her downfall daily. But with that being said, I'd love to hear what y'all have to say about the situation, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more amazing content like this, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what y'all have to say about this. And if you don't like the video, if you don't subscribe, if you don't do any of those things I just told you, honestly I'm gonna call CPS and have them take your children away. But in all seriousness, we will catch you on the next one. I'm done yapping for now. Bye.